Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here at my favorite surf spot wanting to paddle out, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Check this out. Man, let's go work on some surfboards at the surf shack. Sounds like fun. All right, we'll see you soon. Laters. Hey, how's it, brah? Overhead? Okay, brother. Okay, brother. Hey, how's it, guys? Hey, before we get to that surfboard repair, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I didn't get to it on my first video. You know, things happen, I guess. Hey, but my name's Mark. I grew up in Hawaii for a lot of years, all through school. I went to Albert Scott Elementary, Makakilo Elementary, Aliamanu Intermediate, and Radford High School. So I've been surfing for a long time, since 1974. Got my first new board in 1975, been surfing ever since. My stepfather's Filipino, so I grew up in the Asian culture. I grew up in Pacific Islander culture, and so I just want to give a shout out to my brothers and sisters on the islands. So, so on top of that, I just want to tell you that I live in the Northwest now, on the west coast of the mainland, Washington State, in the southwest of Washington. I still surf today. I'm right on the coast, and that's pretty much it, man. In a nutshell, as I put out more videos, you'll learn a little bit more about myself and stuff. So let's get this fun stuff going. Let's do some surfboard repair. Stand by. Hey guys, let's look at the surfboard we're going to repair today. It's my 9.0 Hammer performance board, shaped by Corey Davis, an excellent shaper up here in the Northwest. Actually from Oregon. I want to give a big shout out to Corey Davis. Haven't seen him since the 90s, even though I bought several boards from him. He built this one custom. I picked out my own dimensions and my own graphics. He shaped it and actually delivered it to me up in Bremerton. So Corey, if you see this video, here's that board that I love so much. So yeah, it's a 9.0 performance. You find that trim spot, it goes. Not much of a nose rider. It's mainly more for good turns and going fast. So let's get this video going for some repair. Let's get to step one. Okay, I already cleaned up around the damaged area. I didn't put that on video because I think it's self-explanatory, right? So now I'm going to take me up a border. And I like to give it about an inch or so, or inch and a half or so. Give me some sanding room so it can blend when you sand. Doesn't have to be real pretty. And remember, I've done this ever since I was a kid. Always done it my way. I know there's pros out there, and shout out to them. But I'm not a pro. But I've taken care of my own boards my whole life and never had any problems with them leaking or anything like that. So I'm pretty proud of that. So let me go do the back side. Cool. There we go. So I got my tape border there. I like to put a border there because it keeps you from sanding way down here when you don't need to. You don't want to rub through the finished glass. So I like to use a tape border. Plus, if there's a little bit of runoff on any resin, it runs onto the tape and rather than running down all your board. So that's cool, man. So the next step is actually going to get some sandpaper going and start our process, or continue our process at least. So, all right. All right. Now we got our sandpaper. Do some 80 first. See what's good for you. This works for me. You can go down to 60 or whatever. I don't know. This works for me. So I just do some sanding. Sand a little bit past the damaged area so your new fiberglass will stick when you lay it down. And what you're doing is just trying to make it to where the new fiberglass will stick to it and smooth this out so there's no broken resin stuck through. You want to get all the little particles out. So you just kind of smooth it out. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to go too much sanding because you don't want to take off all this and it just creates more work for you. So just get it smooth. Like this little crack there, that's for sure a leaker right there. So you just spend some time, just take your time. There's no reason to rush, you know. If the surf's up, just grab another board out of your quiver and go for it. But so you just smooth this out, and at the same time, you're scratching everything else up so everything sticks. So just give it a feel. If you feel it kind of lumpy, just go to that spot, spend a little bit more time. A little bit more time. I don't know if you can see it smoothing out now. I like it to get it all smoothed out. This is kind of basic. It's an easy fix. There's no gouges taken out of the foam and the glass is all broke and where you have to use filler. This is just basically a little patch, you know. I'll probably put some 6-ounce glass over this, wrap it, and sand it down, call it good, you know. Don't need to spend a whole bunch of time. You just basically want to get it so it won't leak. The foam starts turning brown on you and it gets ugly. So that's starting to feel pretty smooth there. Getting scratched up pretty good. So I think I'm starting to like that. Yeah, I'm starting to like that pretty good. Sand everything down. It feels natural, like it's part of the board. So always be careful to not over sand and take away all this good fiberglass. You don't want to do that. It'll create a whole new situation for you to get. you'll have to spend more time. No one wants to work, they want to surf. So, oh man, that feels pretty good. So I'm going to stop there with this. Cool. There you go. Nice and smooth. And we're ready for the next step. Okay. I made my batch of resin. I used, I don't know exactly how many ounces or whatever, but I just make up my own brew and go from there. I've done it like that my whole life. I know there's what is it? Like, it's supposed to be like 10 drops of hardener per 1 ounce or an ounce or something like that, whatever. And you got to adjust that by the temperature outside. It's pretty cold here right now in Washington, so I mixed it up pretty good. I put a little bit of red tint. It's not perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I used a little bit of laminating resin. So what I'm going to do now is basically just take my brush and I'm just going to kind of go lightly over this. Everyone does it different. Like I said, I'm not a pro. I just do it my way. It's not going to be perfect. Done it like this pretty much my whole life. And what I'm doing is filling up the pores of where I just sanded into the broken glass. Just add some color. Won't be perfect. It's going to have a little bit of white in it still. I might put some into the glass too. I'm running way low on my red pigment, so I just got to make do. It's an old board, so I don't think I'll get judged too harshly. I hope I don't. But that looks good for now. Keep it kind of thin. I'll just do a light sand after this, and then I'll put some 6 ounce glass over that and call it good. I hope I have enough of my red pigment, but I can still see the white coming out of there. It's hard. I'll put some more in my fiberglass, see if I can get it to darken up red, but looks better than just pure white. We'll see. So there you go, man. That's another step. Got to let that dry. Get it to where I can get it to the sanding point, and then shoot. We're getting close. Almost ready to hit the water. So let's let this baby dry. All right. Next step. I got some 150 grit sandpaper here. Remember, this was just brushed on, so it's not a real thick coat here. I just like to put a little bit of resin on top of the cracked glass to just extra protection. So there's not much sanding to do here, just to get it all flat and level again. Some people will use a filler for easier sanding, but there's such light resin here that I'm just gonna. I didn't care about using the filler, so I'm just gonna start sanding here. Kind of get it might lighten up where the ding was, the color-wise, but shoot, I'm not really worried about that. So, like I said, always take your time sanding. Sanding is tedious, but like I said, you don't want to take off too much fiberglass. It leads to a whole new problem. So I'll sand on this for a while. And the next step, I will be cutting out some fiberglass and mixing up some resin with some red pigment and do that. And maybe see how things go. See if I need to put a hot coat on it or not. We'll see. That's just, when you do that, it's a little bit more work, So just keep sanding, keep moving around. Don't stay in one spot too long. Keep feeling it. Like there's a high spot here. I might have to go get some 80 grit for that part right there. But up until then, I'll keep doing this until I need to go to that rougher grit. But But there you go, man. This is pretty much it. Just keep sanding and keep feeling it. And before you know it, you're at the next step. So let me not bore you with this tedious sanding, and we'll get to the next spot when I'm ready to get there. All right, man. Okay. I got it all sanded down there, all flat. There's a little bit of white spots there from the pigment sanding out, but that's not that big of a deal. I probably didn't even need to do some pigment at that stage. All that matters is it's all sealed here where all the cracked glass is. So, but on this step, we're gonna lay some glass down, and got some pigment going here. And sometimes I like to just put a little dab like that, just a little dab like that, because little pieces of fiberglass like this likes to slide everywhere when you're trying to get the job done, and it kind of holds it in place a little bit. So I do that. I check the back, check up, make sure I'm good. Let me do a walk around here. Yep, the back's covered good. Okay. So what I like to do now is kind of saturate it a little bit. I just do it my way. I know there's better ways. Oop, getting a little bit too much there. Just saturate it a little bit, then I'll use my other tool. I know there's better ways of doing this, guys, but old dog, new tricks kind of don't work sometimes. Even though doing all this video stuff and YouTube, I am learning new tricks, and I'm an old dog. So, all right. Just grab some of that out of there. Get my towel here. And then I just start using my little brush here. Kind of mix it in. Get it going here like that. Make sure it's saturated. You want to saturate the glass. Saturate it real good. It's looking pretty good. See some runoff like this. That's what I'm doing a video and not used to all the other distraction stuff. So just lay it a little bit more on top like this. Saturate the glass. Just spread it out. Get it going. I can still see some of the glass I'm really low on red pigment, so it's hard to get the real deep color that I need. It's almost coming. I'm getting a little bit more in the back here. Hope my bill of my hat's not getting in the way too much, but concentrating, trying to talk at the same time. I think I mentioned my first video that I'm not the smartest guy in the world due to the fact that I put a landing on my new Stewart. But there you go, man. It's looking pretty good. Lay it down nice and flat. And we're almost there, I think. We're almost there, guys. This one's gonna have to dry a little bit longer than everything else. So, but you won't notice because it's video. I can turn the video off and start it anytime I want. You guys will never know unless I'm wearing different clothes or something. But boy, I think we're there, brothers and sisters. Smooth it out nice, and the back looks good. It looks saturated to me. So there you go, man. Just let that dry, or cure, or harden, whatever words you want to use, and I'll see you in the next segment. All right, here we go for the next step. I got some 80. This thing's all 80 grit here. This is all nice and cured now, nice and hard. So I got my garage door open, so if there's a little bit of a light change, I apologize. When I do this much sanding, I like to have a little bit more ventilation, fiberglass, and gloves. Some people wear a mask too, but this is not that intense, so I don't usually wear a mask here. But here we go, man. I got some 80. I like to start low because it's usually thicker here on the lip, on the bottom lips there. So I like to start there. Like I said, take your time, get it nice and flat. Now some people will even use a 40 or even a 60. I don't get that crazy. I just take my time and use the 80. 80's usually good for everything that I do on my boards. And you can use machines like a disc sander and all that stuff, but rails, no, I'm not comfortable using a power tool on the rail stuff. It's kind of scary to me. Like I said, I'm not a pro, so leave that to the pros. I'm retired, so there's not a whole lot of things I have to go do, you know. So I spend most of my time doing this kind of stuff, surfing, skating, having a couple of beers. But yeah, so I'll just keep doing this, getting it down, taking off some of the big stuff, and then I'll move to 150 and go from there. But I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me sand this for the next minutes, you know. So I think I'll stop here and sand for a while, and when I get to the next step, I'll bring it back up for you guys. All right, man. Hang in there. All right, we got that down. We sanded that down to, you know, keep it shape of the board here. Make sure the rails go. I know the tape kind of throws you off a little bit, but it's down. So we're gonna go do some 120 here. I usually like to go to 150, but 120 would work. So what I'm trying to do is just get a little bit more smoother. So just lightly sand like this. I know this is tedious, guys, but that's why I don't sand that long on the camera for you. But I've been doing it. I got my first ding on my board, what, 1976, my brand new Ben Ipa design Stinger, surfing at Kaiser's on the south shore of Oahu. Went for this barrel, purled my board, my nose of the board, hit the reef pretty good. It's short board, so right on the rail here near the nose. Put a nice good ding in it, so it was yellow at the bottom. I just repaired it myself. I just went for it. I didn't know what the heck I was doing at age 15 or whatever it was. Even had to use pigment for the first time. So my first ding, I even used pigment, but I didn't know what I was doing, and the pigment was supposed to be more yellow, but by the time I got done, it came out a little bit more orange, but it was sealed, and it was a learning process, so this is how I've been doing it my whole life. So like I said, I'll say it again, not a pro, but it sure is fun, especially when you're retired. I like to help friends do their boards. But see how it's starting to look real smooth and even flow, part of the board. You can see the fiberglass weave there. I'll be taking care of some of that with a little hot coat. Do a final sanding resin hot coat once I get this up to par. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there, man. I know this is I don't know how fun it is for you to watch me sand, but boy, that's feeling pretty good. This is a real old board, so I'm not really worried about it to be perfect, you know. It's a really old board built in, I think, later 90s. Like I told you guys, it's a custom. But Boy, it feels pretty good. I don't see feel any real high spots or anything. So I'm going to get set up for the next segment, and we'll keep this thing rolling, man. Shoot, thanks for hanging in there, guys. Let's get this next segment going. All right. You can see as I got down to 120, it's all the patch is all one piece with the board now. So I took out the border, the old tape border off, and sanded down the lines and put a new border on so I could do a hot coat. Now the hot coat is actually sanding resin. That's how you get your gloss and stuff. The process prior to this was all laminating resin. And remember, laminating resin is not really good for sanding, but a small patch like that's good. And you can sand sanding resin pretty easy. So all I got is a little bit of batch here. It's cold out, so I hope I got my hardener mixture right. And I just brush it on, man. Brush it on. Like I'll do it all. And remember, I had issues with my pigment, so we're gonna have a little bit of the old glass look there, but you know what? It's not a brand new board, so it's not that critical. It's still gonna be nice. And you'll see a little bit of waves in it, little lines in it when you're doing it, but it dries pretty flat, so. Try to get it on there as easy as you can. And some people do a sand, a little quick sand at the end with some, light grit sandpaper. And we'll see how this looks, see if I need to do that or not. Like I said, not a brand new board. Not saying that I like to just skate out of everything and half butt it. But shoot, man, I think that's it. What do you think, man? What do you think? I'm gonna let this cure a little bit and take the tape off, and then I'll be sanding around the edges of the tape line to get it. Whoops, I hit the camera with my hat. I'll be taking the tape off and sanding all the borders there and getting it nice and smooth. And if I need to clean this up with some sandpaper, we'll do that too. But let's let this cure and we'll get back to it. I think one more step and we'll call it good, man. All right, guys, we're almost there. As you see, the patch has got the hot coat on it. Got a little bit of a gloss to it and some tape border that I want to eliminate. So I got some 400 wet, dry sandpaper. What I'm going to do is take some of the gloss down and get rid of these little tape lines. So I'll just wet it down a little bit like that. And sand again. Shouldn't take too long. Just like make the board all one thing again. There's no bumps or stuff. You can get in the water now if you want. You didn't even have to put on a hot coat if you didn't want to. But I kind of like doing it. Kind of adds to it. Makes it look nicer. You probably could go back down to a more grittier paper if the line's hard to get off, but it's coming off pretty good. Nice and safe. You don't want to take off all the hot coat you put on there. So this is going pretty good. Whoops. Bump the camera again because I'm dumb. Okay, we're almost done, man. There's several ways to do this. And remember, I got the white spots there because I got red pigment on the way. Some people will put a little acrylic paint on the white there, try to match it up and call it good. And also what I could do is when my pigment comes in, I can just do another hot coat with some pigment on there. Make it all red. But like I said, my new board, I'd probably go that far, but not to disrespect my baby here. You don't really need it. There it goes, man. A little bit of line there. I'm not going to sand all day and bore you guys, but well, you got the idea of it all, right? See, like it's all pretty much one board again. Pretty cool. What do you think? I like it. I like it. I like it. Right on. There you go. So there you go, man. A little bit of a line left. You guys get the gist of it now. See, if you see any tape lines or any bumps in it, just keep sanding. But I think it's pretty good for now. I'm not going to waste your time on that. You probably want to go catch some waves. I get it. Thanks for watching the video, though. So there you go, man. Right on. Looks pretty good. Ready to hit the waves. Man, there you go, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I know some of the sanding parts a little tedious, but that's why I cut most of it out. But you get the gist of it. It's you know, like I said, not professional. Just do it the best that I know how. You know, maybe go check out some pros if you want to go deeper into it. No problem there. So I want to thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to say one more thing though. Hey, we all started surfing as newbies, right? So next time you see a newbie out in the water and he drops in on you or gets in your wear or something like that, you know, just rather than getting verbally abusive to him or cracking him, just teach him surf etiquette. It goes a lot better. Surfing is supposed to be fun, you know. We don't need a whole bunch of angry people out there, right? I mean, we've all been there. I think teaching surfing etiquette is actually the way to go. So, right on, man. You guys hang in there and watch for my next video. Laters.